going on, bench warmers? Welcome back for Week 8 Fantasy Football. Are you ready, buddy?
How you doing? Let's get ready for this.
All right. Let's jump right into news and notes. There's a lot of stuff that's been going on. Lots of a couple weeks ago with the waiver wire show that I did, I was like, there isn't really a lot out there. You gotta probably not want to do anything this week with waivers. Don't spend the fab. Don't do the waiver wire. Lose position on that. Wait for some trades. Wait some injuries. This week, trades, injuries, everything. Boom! It just blew up. Everyone's hurt. Shaq Barrett blew his ACL last night. There's Achilles. Is Achilles? I think that's what it is. It's Achilles. Kadarius Toney is now a Chief. Just crazy. Yeah.
Okay. Then tell me more.
Yeah, Kadarius Toney. That's a big trade.
I know that is. And you saw who became an Eagle.
Yes. Yeah. Robert Quinn. That's going to be exciting to see.
Yeah. Especially since Eagles are slow on a bye week, coming back from a bye week. So.
Yeah, everyone's going to be fresh. It's going to be nice. They said that he's going to probably play, so should add to the pass rush.
All I need you to do is break the line. That's it. Just open it up and go get me the ball.
Go get me the ball.
Danny. I need that ball. Get me the ball.
You need the ball.
Get me the ball.
Get you the ball.
Are you going to get me the ball?
I'll get you the ball.
I hope he doesn't kill somebody.
You're going to give me the ball.
I'm going to get you the ball.
All right, well, let's start this out. So, Barfy, I actually had to change my must start because you came in and threw your guys at me, and I was like, oh, well, there goes my must start. So I had to change my guy up.
I'm so sorry to be of an inconvenience to you, my friend. I'm just so sorry. All right, so this week I went with Kirk Cousins, which obviously, if both of us are agreeing on a player, that's either rare or laziness. I don't know. Cousins has a favorable track record coming off of a bye week with at least 20 fantasy points in 4 of his past 6 games after a break. He should have another quality outing in this scenario against the Cardinals. Arizona has allowed an average of 22.3 fantasy points per game to opposing quarterbacks. And 2 of the past 3 quarterbacks against the Cardinals, Jalen Hurts in Week 5 and Andy Dalton in Week 7, have scored at least 27 fantasy points. Cousins also has scored at least 21 fantasy points in 4 of 6 games this year. So,
Kirky.
I mean, it's weird to say that name after seeing some of the abysmal shit I've seen him go through. But,
I agree. He's been pretty hit or miss, but absolutely, definitely must start this week. I definitely go with Kirk Cousins, especially if you're in a 2 quarterback league. I think that's a solid start right there. I went with Tua Tagovailoa going against Detroit. Of course, you're going to play any quarterback that goes against Detroit. 26 against quarterback production, and over the last couple weeks, Tua was hurt. Tua was okay last week. I'm happy they survived. He didn't get hurt again. But you have to realize game is going to be in Detroit. Detroit's got a horrible team. It's also on turf, so Hill's faster, Waddle's faster. This is going to be I think both sides are going to score a lot of points. So it's going to be a lot of, this guy's scoring, this guy's scoring. It's going to be constantly just trying to keep up with each other. It's going to be a high-scoring game. It definitely, if you're going to be betting, you definitely take the over, I'd say. Both offenses, especially that Detroit had a really subpar week last week. I think they were blanked by the Patriots. But this week they're going to come back and they're going to actually do some. It's going to go back and forth. It says.
Yeah. It's. I mean, yeah, it's going to be a back and forth game. It's going to be interesting.
Detroit.
But that's the problem though. It's Detroit. Like, who you getting? What Detroit you getting?
Yeah, well, the defense is not going to be there, so it is what it is. Well, who'd you get for your running back?
For my running back, I have this gentleman, sir, Miles Sanders of Philadelphia. Sanders might not like fantasy like Sanders might not like fantasy football, but fantasy managers are enjoying his production this season. He went into the bye week having scored at least 14 points in 2 of his past 3 games. He's turned into a reliable fantasy option again as the lead running back for this high-powered Eagles offense. This week, Sanders gets a Steelers defense that has allowed 6 running backs to score at least 15 points this season, including 2 games in a row against Raheem Mostert and Leonard Fournette. Sanders has a top 15 upside in all leagues this week.
Yeah.
Go Birds.
I'm surprised. Go Birds. I can't believe Miles Sanders is actually having a really good year. He's actually getting the usage that he needs. He's staying healthy for the most part. And
for now.
And it's Pittsburgh. Pittsburgh's been kind of.
So there's a conspiracy theory out there in football world that the NFL is scripted. I may or may not agree with it, but the script is saying that the Philadelphia Eagles are going to lose to 2 games to teams that they should have beat. And if this is one of those games, I'm going to be really pissed.
I don't know anything about this script you're talking about.
I mean, I'll put my tinfoil hat on and show you. I'm just saying. But that's the rumor I've heard. So if this is scripted, they say the Eagles are going to lose 2 games this year and still win the NFC East.
All right. Put your tinfoil hat away. I went with Tony Pollard, going against Chicago, 27th against running backs. After the last 2 weeks, so you have Ramondre Stevenson had over 100 yards total with a touchdown. The week before that, Brian Robinson had 60 yards and a touchdown. This is based on, is Zeke playing or not? Now, Zeke is coming out saying, I'm not a baby. I'm going to play through it. I'll be fine. He might sit out. I'm not a big baby. I can play. Big baby. Yeah. So he might not. I don't think it's really going to matter. I think Pollard's going to be a must-start kind of guy anyway, no matter what. Even with Zeke banged up and he does play, Pollard's probably going to get the majority of the carries. So I'd feel very, very good about starting him this week.
Yeah. Now, is it Pollard or Pollard?
I think it's Pollard.
I don't know. That's what I'm asking.
I don't know. It's my Jersey. It's my Jersey accent in there.
I don't know if it's Pollard, Ver, Rar. I don't know. But it's my curiosity.
Oh, jeez. Who'd you get for wide receiver, buddy?
Teddy the polar bear. Solid. Receiver. For wide receiver, I went with Gabe Davis of Buffalo. Let's hope he stays hot. Coming off his bye week in week 7. Prior to his bye, Davis combined for 48 points in his last 2 games. Combined for 48 points. In case I said that too fast for some of y'all. In his past 2 games against the Steelers and Chiefs, with 6 catches for 245 yards, 3 touchdowns, and 12 targets. Love to see a spike in targets and catches, but that's not likely going to happen at all, given all the mouths to feed in Buffalo. Here you go, you get a pass, you get a handoff. That said, Davis is making plenty of big plays, and that should continue against the Packers, who should get overwhelmed defensively in this matchup. Davis also has a top 15 upside this week at home.
Yeah, I said it before. I was wrong about Gabe Davis. I think he's a guy that you're going to start no matter what. He's going to have his good weeks. He's going to have his bad weeks. He's always got that possibility of having a monster week. So you can't not risk it.
I've had him for fantasy. He's been probably the most consistent player that I've had. Ironically enough.
There you go.
Not Ben Roethlisberger. That's not Ben Roethlisberger. Not Aaron Rodgers. That's for damn sure. Killing me.
Oh, yeah. Lamar was killing me for a couple weeks, but thank God he actually did something this week.
Yeah, I know. I have my other leagues, but the league that actually costs money, I have Aaron Rodgers and Derek Carr.
Well, I've never been a Derek Carr fan for fantasy football.
I like Derek Carr, but the problem was that people were snatching quarterbacks early, and I'm like, nope, don't feed into it. Don't feed into it.
And you lose.
And this is why I'm last in the league this year. My other 2 leagues, I'm one. The league that actually counts.
That's how it works. All right, well, I went with A.J. Brown going against Pittsburgh, 31st against pass or against wide receivers. And it's Pittsburgh, like we said. They got a terrible defense. Eagles come fresh off a bye week. I just see that, especially the last couple weeks, they go against guys like Waddle, Hill, Godwin. They're all guys that had like 88 yards for Waddle, 72 yards for Hill, another 95 for Godwin. These guys are still, no matter how much you want to say that they can stop the pass, they're not going to. Jalen Hurts is going to toss it up to A.J. Brown deep as much as he can, and he's going to come down with it because the secondary is just not good. So right. If you have kind of like, I don't know. Have you felt that A.J. Brown was a guy that you could start on a weekly basis all season long?
No, he's been wishy-washy to me.
Yeah, so I'd say if you're kind of like, I don't know, I'm not sure about starting A.J. Brown, this is the week to do it just for the simple effect of the matchup. And just hope that the game doesn't get out of hand too quick where they just go Miles Sanders and run out the clock. That's the other thing that I see that could probably happen there.
So I will say Eagles have been doing good clock management this year. Shockingly. The one thing notorious for the 30 years that I can remember, clock management has always been not a strong suit in Philadelphia. But this year they're doing well with clock management. So
defense doesn't kick it in the freaking neutral.
I know. I mean, every third quarter.
Well, who'd you get for your flex guy?
My flex, my man Pots and Pans. I love this guy. I will stand on this hill for Zach Ertz. Some fantasy managers might be concerned about Ertz's lack of production in Week 7 against the Saints in the first game with DeAndre Hopkins back from the suspension. I wouldn't panic yet. Cardinals had success running in that matchup, and Ertz should rebound this week against the Vikings in a potential shootout. He only had 4 targets against New Orleans for 2 catches and 21 yards, but prior to that, he had at least 10 points per game, 10 points in the last 6 games in a row. I'm going right back to Ertz as a must-start tight end this week against the Vikings, who have allowed 3 tight ends to score at least 10 points this year. And I'd say when Ertz is actually like a play is designed for him, he's capitalized. Oh, look at your face! Oh my God!
Zach Ertz for flex. Well, honestly, we're bye weeks, and if you are that desperate for a flex, Zach Ertz wouldn't hurt. I think he is a top 5 tight end, and
yeah,
honestly, if you're going to flex out a tight end, he's probably one of your better options, especially now. Mark Andrews looks like he's going to be done for a couple weeks. Last night going out, he said it was a hamstring issue. I don't know, but speaking of that hamstring issue, did you hear about? This is something I should have said something about in the news and notes. Jamar Chase hip 4 to 6 weeks out of nowhere. Last night, I didn't even see that. Like,
I'm gonna mute this real quick. I'm back.
We'll talk about the Jamar Chase injury a little bit farther down, but all right. So anyway, I went with for my flex, Brandon Ayuk. Brandon Ayuk going against the LA Rams, 24th against wide receiver production. Ramsey's going to lock down Debo if Debo plays. I heard Debo's a little banged up. Debo might. I think Debo will probably play because they have a bye week next week. So he's going to try to get out there, probably play. Ramsey's going to match up with Debo. Ayuk's going to run free. And over the last couple weeks, you saw Ayuk. I think it was last 2 weeks. Ayuk is averaged 11 targets. 11 targets per week. So Jimmy G is going to continue to feed him the ball, and probably with the fact that Ramsey's going to be on the other side of the field, Ayuk's going to break free and probably get a touchdown. So definitely a flex option. I'm going to go with Brandon Ayuk.
Hadouken!
See, you should have warned me. I would have had that ready. Then you give me like Brandon Ayuk.
Hadouken!
Come on.
Pre-production,
my ass.
What?
Could have told me in pre-production. I gotta have that ready.
All right. Maybe next time. All right, sleepers and redeemers. Who do you got for your quarterback?
So for my quarterback, I last year you loved him. I wouldn't say you loved him, but you had a fandom of him. I'm going with Danny Dimes. Now there's a stipulation here. If Wan'Dale Robinson, who's out with an undisclosed injury, is healthy for this matchup, because Jones needs some playmakers in the passing game. But the reason I like Jones this week is his matchup with the Seahawks and his ability to run. Because why, Monahan?
He's got legs.
He got legs.
He's got legs.
He has at least 37 rushing yards in 4 of his past 5 games, including 3 games with at least 68 yards. Close. And he has 3 rushing touchdowns. Nice. 3 rushing touchdowns. All right. Out. And he has 3 rushing touchdowns over that span. The Seahawks allow an average of 20.70 fantasy points per game to opposing quarterbacks. 3 quarterbacks, Jimmy Garoppolo, Marcus Mariota, Kyler Murray, have scored at least 6 fantasy points with just their rushing stats alone. If you include that, what Taysom Hill did taking snaps for the Saints in Week 5, Seattle's allowed 263 rushing yards and 5 touchdowns to opposing quarterbacks, which easily is the most in the NFL. Jones could be a difference maker for fantasy managers this week with his rushing prowess in this matchup, because he got legs.
I agree. His ability to run is making a very, very, very big deal for fantasy owners starting him. He's now a legitimate top 10 quarterback, I believe. A guy that you're going to start week in, week out. Surprisingly, Danny Dimes. Oh my goodness, head scratcher with him. It came out of nowhere. I thought this is it. He's going to have a little swan song, and then he's going to disappear into obscurity after this season. But anyway, I went with Jimmy G, because Jimmy G has had back-to-back weeks on the cusp of 300 yards of passing. And he's also now has a new toy in the backfield that will get the full load, giggity, and the full load into the backfield of CMC. Now, the thing about this is with CMC, it's an upgrade with the running game, but also this guy can take it to the house on a simple freaking screen pass every time he touches the ball. So this just makes Jimmy G so much more valuable because of the explosiveness. Now, not only can Debo take it in and around, or a quick bubble screen to the house, CMC can do it on the other side too. So now you have the defense just totally unsure where to go. Where do they go and throw this ball? I don't know, because it could go left, it could go right. I don't know. Or it could go right down the middle to Kittle. Or hell, now you have Kittle that goes over the middle. You have Ayuk that goes above Kittle. They're going to try to bring the safeties down to guard Kittle. Ayuk sneaks back. Long touchdown. Bam. Big plays. Jimmy G. That's why.
Well, okay. I mean, so you're going to say he's a sleeper?
After this week, he won't be sleeping.
And totally redeem yourself!
Yeah. Oh, that's a good choice. I like that. I mean, I know you also have loved San Fran since you were a puppy, so.
Oh, yeah.
Naturally.
You know, who didn't like Steve Young back in the day?
I was a Joe Montana fan, actually.
You were a Troy Aikman fan.
I was not. As I've stated before in Facebook posts, I literally did that to piss off my Salman Steve.
He was rocking Emmitt Smith jerseys.
I never had an Emmitt Smith jersey. I did have a Dallas Cowboy pullover coat, the starter coat.
Oh, the starters, yeah.
I did have a starter coat. I ain't gonna lie. But I also had a Seattle Supersonics one too. So I mean, you know, we don't do basketball.
Hey, but if you guys are watching right now, hit that like, hit that subscribe button. Really appreciate it. If you want to find us we are on YouTube, Facebook, soon to be Rumble, And Discord, if you want to check out our Discord, in the link below, the link tree, click it, and there it is. Have any questions? Hit us up there. More than happy to answer any questions you have.
Yes, that's actually probably the best way. If you have an actual question, comment, whatever, that is the best way to get in touch with us. Go to linktree/BATBB and pop in there. There's a Benchwarmer Nation chat in the Barbie and the Bass Brigade chat Discord channel, and just type it away. I'll see it. Monahan will see it, and we'll get to you. Pretty much one of us will get to you quickly, for the most part.
Absolutely. So if you are a returning viewer, hit that subscribe button, hit the notification bell so you catch every episode of our stuff, especially Barfy the Bass Brigade, which will be in the link down below.
Yeah. Excellent.
Okay. So who'd you get for your running back, buddy?
So for my running back, I have Devin Singletary. And we'll see how the Bills use Singletary against the Packers, but this is a favorable matchup for him if he gets enough touches. Green Bay has allowed 8 running backs to score at least 12 points this season, with 5 scoring at least 15. Singletary had 14 points with 107 total yards in his last game in Week 6 in KC. He had a season-high 17 carries in that game, and I hope he gets similar workload this week. There have been 8 running backs with at least 15 total touches against the Packers, and all 7 have scored at least 12 points each against this defense.
Okay. All right. I went with James Robinson, fresh off a trade to the Jets, going against New England, which is a kind of okay-ish play, I guess. But I think this is definitely a sleeper-ish kind of play. You want to play James Robinson over the last couple of weeks. Just look at the fact that New England's rush defense has been kind of meh. Going against the Bears, they had like committee-ish going thing. They had Justin Fields for 82 yards of a touchdown. They had Dave Montgomery for 62 yards of a touchdown. And Herbert was the only one that seems like didn't get in the end zone. Shame on him. But he also had another 62 yards at it there. The week before that, they did play against the Browns. Nick Chubb only had 56 yards on 12 carries. It was more of a game script kind of situation where the game kind of got way out of hand and they had to just throw the ball and they just had a really bad game overall. So definitely say James Robinson is a sleeper pick. Pop him in your flex spot. We'll see what happens. Hey, you could do worse.
Wake up, sleepyhead!
Who you got for wide receiver, buddy?
I am going with Tyler Boyd, not to be confused from Iron Man 2, not Bird, Boyd. Prior to Week 6, Bengals coach Zach Taylor said Boyd needed to be more involved in the offense, and in the past 2 games, he has 15 targets for 14 catches, 221 yards, and a touchdown against the Saints and the Falcons. Boyd should be considered a top 30 receiver for this foreseeable future. I like him as a number 2 receiver in all leagues this week, but I want to say number 2 when I was typing this. He was going to be my number 2 guy. Good flex spot. He has at least 12 points in 3 of the past 5 meetings with the Browns.
I like Tyler Boyd, especially with Jamar Chase going down. That just makes him even more valuable. I know, I understand. I'm going to apologize to everybody that watched the waiver wire show. I did say that he was fool's gold. But who was to say they could have saw a hip injury knock Jamar Chase out on a Friday evening? No one saw that coming. I'm sorry. I told you guys not to take him.
Look at you giving out bad advice.
I can't. I got to read my tea leaves a little better, I guess.
Oh, jeez. You didn't charge your crystals over the weekend?
Forgot to do that. Damn rechargeable crystals. Failed.
Yeah, you can only charge them in a full moon, but we live in Jersey, so there's never, there's always clouds.
Only when Governor Murphy smiles.
That psychopath.
All right. I was bouncing back and forth. I couldn't really make this decision. I was kind of like, at first, I originally was like, all right, let's go with Chase Claypool because last time he played Philadelphia, he freaking annihilated them. I'm like, you know what? This is a different secondary. It's not going to happen this time. Right. It's not going to happen this time. I don't know. And it's Kenny Big Six throwing the ball.
Well, yeah, that's true. Kenny Pick Six is playing. Yeah, no. I mean, again, I think this is going to be a slow. I feel the Philly Steelers game is going to be a slow scoring game just because of the fact that one, I don't know how Hurts plays after a bye week because he hasn't really. This is the first season I've seen him act like a quarterback. Also, they are slow coming off a bye, so it might. I feel it's going to be a low scoring game because they're going to be
before
slow
the game,
off the bye.
Before the game, I think Pittsburgh's going to get a speech by Fetterman. Okay, you don't know who Fetterman is. Okay.
I'm drawing a blank.
Nope, never mind. All right, moving on. I'm with Brandon Cooks. Brandon Cooks going against Tennessee. Now, Tennessee is really good against the run, absolutely horrible against the pass. So you want to play anyone that's going to go about that way against Tennessee, who's going to be a wide receiver, you're playing them. I'm going to say Brandon Cooks is a sleeper pick this week. Over the last couple of weeks, you got to look at guys like Paris Campbell had 70 yards and a touchdown, Pittman another 60. Even though Matt, that was more along those, they are fantastic weeks, but Matt Ryan was playing like absolute garbage that game. I think he had like 2 or 3 fumbles. It was terrible. The game prior to that, De'Ami Brown for 105 and 2 touchdowns. Like their secondary is not locked up. It's going to be absolutely Brady. If there was a game that Davis Mills was going to do something and actually throw the ball down the field to Brandon Cooks and actually be productive, this would be the game to do it. So if you're thinking you need a flex spot, you need someone, you're not quite sure, he might even be out on the waivers right now because he's been so bad. But if he's on your roster, I'd say this is the guy you want to start. So go for it this week because this is probably the only week that you're going to actually see any valuable production out of him.
Right. I can see it. I can dig it.
All right, so your bust of the week.
My bust of this week is Sir Terry McLovin.
Unscary Terry.
Unscary Terry, because I am McLovin. McLaurin just had a solid game in Week 7 against the Packers with 5 catches, 73 yards, and a touchdown on 8 targets. It was great to see him perform well in the first game with Tyler Heineken, but this is a tough matchup against the Colts, who are number 1 in fewest fantasy points allowed to opposing receivers. Indy has allowed just 4 touchdowns to opposing receivers, and only 4 receivers have more than 53 receiving yards. And only 2 receivers have more than 13 points against the Colts this year. I like McLaurin. He's if you don't got anybody, just stick him in your flex, but it wouldn't surprise me to see him struggle in this matchup on the road.
Yeah, I think Tyler Heineke is not going to be able to put his magic to it and get it out to his main man.
Yeah, Heineken's a bit bitter. It's a bitter taste for me.
Yeah. It's been sitting in the back of the fridge too long.
Ooh. That stuff ain't good fresh. Imagine when it's been sitting.
With Jonathan Taylor last week, I'm going to go with another big name this week. I'm going to go Nick Chubb is going to bust against Cincinnati, who's 4th against running back production. Bengals are shutting down running backs, and I think it's going to continue. They were able to hold Kamara under 100 yards, 0 touchdowns a couple weeks ago. Tyler Algieri, whatever, how do you pronounce that name? Tyler Algieri, I don't know. It doesn't matter. He's not going to be relevant anytime soon.
It doesn't matter.
But he was held to under 3 yards a carry. Cincinnati, if there's one thing that Cincinnati is doing right now, they're stopping the run. So Nick Chubb is not going to be able to do it. Sorry.
No, I agree or disagree. I could see it though. I could see it.
Not a good week for Nicky Chubb. Sorry.
No.
So your bet of the week. Who you got?
Not football, that's for damn sure. I don't. I know Monahan doesn't do the baseballs. I do. Yeah. Snort all you want. I'm gonna go Phillies in 6. Phillies in 6 games. Phillies are going to win tonight. I think they're going to win tonight, and they're going to win Sunday. And I don't care what you think. I don't care because, America's pastime and the city is charged and it's hot. I could say Eagles. I mean, if you want to bet football, I'd say go with the Eagles because everyone's going to be, hearts are going to be pumping because the Eagles are hot. The Phillies are in the World Series. So,
oh, good for you.
Go Phillies.
Oh my,
Yay,
you are
baseball.
such a wet blanket. Why don't you go watch golf or something then?
Wee baseball.
Yeah, that's right. It's the Red October. It's not just a great book by John Grisham.
It's Red October. Go Phillies.
That's right. It's the Red October.
Well, I
Take the
went
penis mightier.
I went with the Detroit Lions getting 3.5 against the Dolphins. I think they pull out. I think it's a trap game-ish for the Dolphins. Detroit's home. It's on turf. I think it's going to be a high-scoring game. Miami's secondary is absolutely nuked at this point, so it's going to be a game of just he's scoring touchdown. Boom, boom. Like I said earlier, you get a touchdown, you get a touchdown. The score's going to be like 45-42. No, like 46-42, something like that. Dolphins lose. Lions get the 3.5 they need.
Okay. I mean, unless Tua's concussions made him forget the handbook, the playbook. I mean,
well, it's not about Tua's production. It's about can their defense stop anybody. We already know Detroit's defense can't stop anybody. Miami's secondary is not going to be able to stop, especially if St. Brown plays. You have St. Brown. You get Swift's plays. You have Swift coming out of the back. You have TJ hot garbage and what was the name? Khalif. I don't know the other wide receiver.
Hot garbage. Check it and see.
But I think it's going to be a high scoring game. Detroit takes it.
All right, there you go. Because it's hot garbage. Hot garbage.
All right. Well, if you've all stayed to the end, thank you for watching. I appreciate it. Hit that like and subscribe button, and we will see you. Well, I'll see you next Tuesday for the waiver wire, and we'll see Barfy next week, even though he might be doing some little traveling for work. So,
I'll be traveling.
Maybe not. I don't know.
For the next 3 weeks, I will be traveling. I will be in the lovely state of Pennsylvania, in the great city of Pittsburgh, and then I will be down in Sandy, Florida for another weekend, and then I will be back up in Pittsburgh probably. So I'm doing a little bit of traveling, but I'll still be here. Amen for laptops.
Yep, definitely check out Barfy the Bastard Brigade. Not this Tuesday, the following Tuesday.
Oh, you can check out last week's. It's still Halloween season, so check out last week's episode about Halloween.
Happy Halloween, everybody!
All right, happy Halloween. All the spoopy, scary skeletons, and we talk about basic Halloween costumes. Like the naughty nurse, the naughty kitty. They just shove a cotton ball up their butt and call it a day. They're a bunny.
Well, I'll see you guys next week.
Be good.